Of the essence, so I'm blessing every second, and my weapon is my pen, and did the dire needle session. So I give it some...
the project that I'm just about to do is working with a young guy who was a trainee on a bigger project that we've just done. The project was working with young people between the ages of around 12 to 19, and we had a beatboxer, a singer, a video producer, and like a video editing and a music producer involved, and basically we created a song with all the elements and shot a video for the young people involved. And Danny, who's the guy that's going to be like rapping on the song and involved in this project, he was a trainee on the music venture, and out of that Danny got the chance to work further with myself, which he chose that he wanted to do like a one-to-one project because there was funding like left over.
We've been very lucky with the two projects that we've been able to do with Urban Lotus. We've had funding for both projects through Creative Scotland, which it really actually came about for the first time when Danny from Urban Lotus came to us with an idea for doing hip hop and rapping with the young people at the Citadel. Now, we often get ideas, I suppose, from outside, and I always think like I'm not the best person to judge what young people will actually want to do. That's the young people themselves. So what I'd said to Danny was to come in and do a couple of tasters in our older youth clubs and see what the young people thought. And I remember the first night Danny was in, as there often is a wee bit of suspicion, I suppose, when somebody new comes in. And literally Danny was sitting in this room, and all the young people were just poking their head in. And finally one was brave enough to come in and start laying down some beats and doing some beatboxing. And as soon as one person came in, then suddenly there was 20 in, and by the end of the night they were all clamouring for when can we get Danny back, when can we do more of this. And so that's when we realised we were on to winner and put some funding application together, and we're lucky enough to get it, and that gave a chance for Danny with Rolls and Polly to come back in and do a proper project and lay down a CD.
Yeah, I'd definitely say it's easier to get into it now. Nowadays, there's software, you can make music digitally through your laptop, your computer. It's so much more accessible. Whereas 10 years ago, you wouldn't have a clue of how to start making music. It was all hardware, and it wasn't as accessible. So I do think that because it's easier to do it nowadays, and it's becoming more of a commercial thing, I reckon it's easier for people to be able to jump on it and get that done. So yeah, I'd say advice-wise, start off simple, listen to the music that you like, try and replicate that sort of music in your own sort of way, and then the rest will probably come after that.
Just a bit for us, man, and I can get a vibe of what we're doing here.
I've made a few slight changes to the first match. I just felt that there's a respect that I just felt there was a few lyrics that just wasn't really there.
Most important part of the tune. Basically, it doesn't matter what you say when you rap, because people sort of hear some of it. They're real heads will listen to it. A few people are really into their music business, so that the track's got a killer to hook. It means that loads of people will listen to it. Even people that are not greatly into hip hop or not greatly into music. It's all about the hook, man. Like any great song that you know from a hip hop artist that you had a dope hook, you know what I mean?
That was the hardest part for me, was just sitting right in the day.
It's an art, man. Hook writing's an art.
So I'm like, what's it like for you? Like Leith, you live in Leith, yeah? Yeah, and what's that kind of like? How long have you been around this area or living and stuff?
Well, I stayed in Leith pretty much all my life, yeah, but I moved out of Leith when I was 13, 14,
Yeah.
something like that. And then obviously that happened with my family and I moved back to Leith just to be with the family, so we're all back. Right.
Yeah, I mean Leith's colourful, eh? It's got a lot of variety of people and stuff, but I suppose it's like, I suppose as a young person, what kind of opportunities do you have like around here? Yeah.
The Citadel's the best opportunity.
Yeah?
Definitely.
Citadel's like holding it up, so.
There's not really much, yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody in Leith, they've all got the same perception of young people, because there's that many groups of young people going about and I've voted them on me.
Yeah.
And everybody's got the same perception. They think that if all these young people, every young person coming to Leith has got nothing decent to say and nothing decent to teach anybody on, nothing decent to be.
Yeah.
But they put aside the fact that we've grown up here all our lives, we've learned to deal with the struggle, and we've learned to take the best bits for everything.
Yeah.
And we've put that in ourselves there, but people don't see it that way. Yeah.
So you feel like you're getting kind of misjudged by the community in some ways, like they just kind of typecasted you in certain persons. So how about like, I mean, for you, I guess like, I don't know, trying to look back when I was younger and I was going through quite a lot of, I suppose when I was going wayward and I was quite sort of, I don't know, experimenting and things like that with myself, and you know, my music really helped to keep me steady. And like when I was going through a lot of, I mean, even as a teenager, emotionally we go through a lot of changes, and sometimes that's not quite explained by our parents or whatever authorities are around, and it's quite difficult when all these things are, and you're changing a lot and you don't know what's happening. How's your music like kind of supported you through those kind of that change and stuff? You know, how's it to support your time when you're not working and things like that? You know?
Well, obviously I didn't start that long ago. It was more after I found the double situation with my mum, my dad. It happened between them, and my dad off basically left out to dry. The best thing about the music was just it wasn't I didn't start writing music thinking that one day I'll be some big massive artist. I only done it because that was the only way in my heart, that's the only way that I knew to get the emotions, the negative emotions that I had to deal with, that was having to deal with in my life. That was the only way for me to put the negative emotions into something that was actually constructive, something that was actually decent.
So you kind of use your music to express yourself in an emotional way with the stuff that you're kind of trying to deal with at the moment. Yeah, man. Like I can really relate to that myself. A lot of the stuff that I write about has been about the trauma and stuff that I've been through. You know, I've written tracks about like my dad died of cancer. I've written tracks about my mum committed suicide. I've had, you know, a very life of experiences, and it's been one of those, man. And yeah, I can really relate to that kind of having to trying to, because you've got to say it, and it's not an easy thing. You can't just go up to your mate and go, hey, this and that, because your mate's like, what you're telling me that for? And like, some people don't understand, you know. I think as a man it's quite hard to express your emotional side without people thinking, oh, you're this or you're that. And it's just like, you know, actually it's really kind of a repressive thing. So I think hip hop's really good for that, for people to be able to kind of just say what they need to say, and you can talk actually quite, you know, true, honestly on the track about something quite deep, and people go, I respect that, which is weird, isn't it? Because if they told it in your ear, they'd be like, what are you telling me that for, man? Like, you know. So yeah, no, props, man.
Well, I first heard like underground hip hop, like instrumentally through skate videos through old VCR tape skating films, like RGD2, DJ Shadow, DJ Crush, Def Jock, that label. That was probably the first sort of underground hip hop that inspired me. There was no way of getting hold of that music in the charts or like commercially, like before YouTube and like all of the rest of like music advertising.
So yeah, just a bit more because it's quite a bouncy track. So if you kind of go back to your hip, what you were doing, like I'll just show you the difference I suppose with what's exactly this what you're doing. So do you want to spit what you were originally doing? Yeah?
Spend your life raging, you feel you can't take it, keep fighting, always strong, it's gonna be not breaking.
That's not too bad, eh? What I'd say, if we was to use this, what I'd say is you've just got a couple too many syllables in here. So it'd be like, I suppose it'd be like, spend your life freezing, you feel you can't take it. Keep fighting, you can make it or break it. You spend your life raging, you feel you can't take it. You keep fighting, you can make it or break it. You know, sort of just because when you have too much in there, it doesn't flow. So the best thing when you're trying to make a good flow is to have little words, but have them doing the right things, and also like nice words. Sometimes the simple hooks are the best, but what I'm thinking is like to do this, like what makes me aggy, people not trusting plot, what gets me raging, what gets me like, you know, what gets me blood up or something like that, just sort of like just sort of going back and forth. So I'm like, what gets me happy? And you say people not trusting my plot, and I say you go, what gets me raging or something, and I'll say something else like, but we'll work out what the lines are between us, what we're gonna say. So that'll be have you got your little pad as well? What gets me happy? People not trusting the plot.
People say something I'm not.
Yeah, that's it. It's easy, you know, and it's always the simple thing. People say something I'm not. What gets me aggy? What gets me aggy? Just say what gets me aggy? What gets me aggy? So I'll say that. What gets me aggy? People not trusting my plot. Then you say what? And then you go. What gets me raging? People saying something or not. And I'll go. What gets my blood? What gets my blood up? What gets my blood up?
People not trusting my plot.
People not trusting my plot. I'm thinking on my next one, I'll just say, what gets my blood up? Society thinking we're flops, and then just let it shoot. I'm thinking about something about like clenching the fist, like about the rage, you know what I mean? Like keeping it, so I'm saying like blood, get my blood up, and what? What gets me happy? People not trusting my plot. What gets my blood up? Oh yeah, something about making me flop. What gets that blood up? Society thinking I flop. That's it, society thinking I flop. How about together we say raise a fist in the air cause we're right. Raise a fist in the air cause we're right in a drop. Cause we're right. Or something. Raise a fist in the air cause we're yeah. Make a fist in the air cause our rights make a drop. Yeah, that's how we call it. So yeah. How about changing it to bars? Raise a fist in the air cause our bars make a drop. Just say bars gonna drop. dedicate an arm out. Whilst on the drop. So just practice that, go around it a bit. What gets me aggy, people think up. Let's try what you want to do, maybe. I reckon what we can do, we can try it 2 ways and see what sounds best, eh? And I can record it just roughly so we can just hear how it's sounding. So this time, like, I'm going to do that bit, so you'll do the what gets my people sound something or not, and then the what gets my blood up, you say the society thinks I'm a flop, I'll say what gets my blood up, and then we'll say raise one fist in the air because the bar's going to drop together. So, yeah. What gets me aggy, people thinking nothing or not. Sorry, I didn't even say that. What gets me aggy, people not trusting my plot.
What gets me raging, people saying something I'm not.
What gets my blood up? Raise one fist in the air cause the bar's gonna drop. What gets me aggy, not trusting my plot.
What gets me raging is people saying something I'm not.
What gets my blood up? Society thinking I'm flop. Sorry, that's me. But yeah, we just need to punch in and be like a bit rolling. We can just practice that until we get more comfortable, man. So, ready? We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. What gets my aggy? People not trusting my plot.
What gets me raging is people saying something I'm not.
What gets my blood up?
Society thinking I'm flop.
Raise one fist in the air cause the bar's gonna drop. So on that one, just coming in. What gets my blood up? Society thinking I'm flop. What gets my blood up? So you're just straight in after, yeah? 2, 4, yo. What gets me aggy? People not trusting my plot.
What gets me raging is people saying something I'm not.
What gets my blood up?
Society thinking I'm flop.
Raise one fist in the air cause the bar's
gonna drop.
Try. Can you just let me do the last one just so you know what the time is gonna be, yeah? Just like, so, what gets my blood up? Sorry, I'm just gonna do from what gets my blood up and then come in, yeah? So, what gets my blood up?
Society thinking I'm flop.
Raise one fist in the air cause the bar's gonna drop. So yeah, raise one fist in the air cause the bar's gonna drop. What gets me aggy? People not trusting my plot.
What gets me raging? People saying something I'm not.
What gets my blood up?
Society thinking I'm flop.
Raise one fist in the air cause the bar's gonna drop. Yeah, something like that, I reckon. What gets my blood up? Yeah, raise one fist in the air cause the bar's gonna drop. So yeah, raise one fist in the air cause the bar's gonna drop. What gets me aggy? People not trusting my plot. What gets me raging? People saying something I'm not. What gets my blood up? Society thinking I'm flop. Raise one fist in the air cause the bar's gonna drop. Nice with that little, with the 1-1 and then it goes shorter, that quick one, and then it's just together like that. Yeah, it's gonna be dope, man. That's a sick hook, eh? Right, I had that in my head straight away and I was like, no, when you changed it, I was like, oh no, like, I was like, but I know it's fair play, man. I'm really pleased. I think as a writer, it's really important to kind of, you know what, the worst thing to do as a writer is not to write down your ideas. I think you know what, there's so many times where I've written something down and I thought, no, that sounds rubbish, and I scribbled it out. I haven't even tried it. Those things I write down all the time now, and they're great tunes. You know, it's the difference is I've just got confidence in what I'm saying.
I've got a lot of material like that, and I've got loads of wee notebooks and kind of stuff like that, where I've just been, I've literally just carried it with me, because I've been sitting on the bus or something, and I'll have, something will come in my head and I'm like, that sounds quite good, I'll just write it down, but it's stuff that I've never really used, but I find like I've got a notebook and that's like the first page to the last page, I can sit and spit it all as one verse.
Yeah,
it's quite mad, but
that's good, man.
It is quite good, but it's just the stuff that you didn't think would work, and then you'll listen to an instrumental, and then on this sitting instrumental it'll work perfectly.
Yeah, that's another thing as well. You need to find the right beat for it, or the right kind of It's about that, man. It's really important to kind of value whatever you're saying, and it's kind of just believing that it is good enough, because a lot of people can be really dope rappers or producers, but they just don't believe in what they say, or they don't feel confident in what they're saying, or they don't like their voice, and that can just kill the whole vibe. They're not making tunes, writing tunes, or doing nothing, and it's just sad, man, because you know, it's all about that really. It's about just putting it out there. Yeah. really is.
Well, the idea is to help to progress Danny as I guess a songwriter, as in the art hip hop, and I guess to kind of improve on his the weaker side of his lyrical ability. He's quite a strong writer. I think in the last thing I worked a lot on his flow, so that might be something that we put some time into. But ultimately the goal is to create a song, for him to write some verses, for us to co-write a hook maybe, and then just shoot a video. And this is something that I'm gonna release on True Hop Records, which is a label that I've set up myself to put out and get him out there in the actual social network of the music scene.
Past life I was branded, found me walking in a sleepwalk. Problems got handed, found me drowning in the deep fog. Past life I was branded, found me walking in a sleepwalk. Problems got handed, found me drowning in the deep fog.
Slept on so many days, tougher like the leather strain, lighter than the feather haze, round down to figure moon, threatened by the village folk, hounded faith to ignorant, made myself an idiot, walking round the houses, never doubted I was obsolete, doing drugs to rob my mind, to feed the habit of the streets, never felt accepted, so road became my family, soul out in the cold, never showed my vulnerability, instead adrenaline drove, emotional hostility, acted like a military, couldn't kid the kid, but the kid was coming scared, had to find another route cause no one wasn't there, the struggles that I bared were the problems of a man, nobody to teach, so devised the charges plan, I made it on my own, family around, always home, father didn't stand responsible to hold me as his own, bullied at the home, unrolled by racist, built a big bravado as the confidence was at, they say Britain multicultural, incongruence is that, they may have different cultures, did they accept the differences? Until I started school I didn't even know what difference is, until somebody pointed saying that boy is a black, left standing thinking is it cause I'm that, and will it change the difference in the way others react?